Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Focus on Liberia. Prime Time Sunday. My name is Dennis Jad. We are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Tonight is the beginning of our new series, Let's Have a Plan. Plan for the different sectors in Liberia, being the agriculture, the economy, security, education, healthcare. What's the plan? Politicians are not telling of any plan. And so we decided to get some of the best among us to give us something that looked like a plan for a vibrant nation. And so we entitled this series, Let's Have a Plan. In tonight's edition, we're going to have a plan that is a plan to foster agricultural development in Liberia. My guest is Dr. Wookley S. Pay. Dr. Pay, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ja. Thank you for having me, and I'm glad to be here again to share my knowledge on uh, the plans that we need to implement, to move agriculture forward in Liberia. I've been here, I think, three different times. Today is my fourth time, and you guys are great, and I'm happy to be here. And I'm always available when you call upon me to share my knowledge or expertise or whatever you might call it. But I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
And we are very happy to have you. By the way, Dr. Wookley SP is a postdoctoral fellow who has been working in agricultural research. He worked with the USAID Food and Enterprise Development Program for Liberia, and he served as an intern, as a farming facilitator with ACDI VOCA. And in that role, he was helping local farmers do things like developing a plan, having a business plan for agriculture so that they move beyond just subsistent agricultural farming and doing a little bit more. And so Mr. Dr. Pay, he has worked both in Liberia and here, and he's here to share with us his plan or what plan he may have that will foster agricultural development. So let's say if we want to have food security, what would the plan look like? If we want to have a vibrant economy based on agriculture, what do we need to do? So in tonight's presentation or interview, what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at the agricultural landscape, the landscape in Liberia. That is our current situation. What does it look like now? What are some of the challenges involved? What will be a strategic goal if we want to have that agricultural based economy, or if we want to foster agricultural development, what will the plan be like? What are some of the challenges and obstacles that anyone who wants to see this through be looking at meeting ahead of them? And how do we solve those challenges? Is there a cost associated if we want to have a robust economic or agricultural plan? How much will it cost? How much of our budget can be allotted to that to have that? So, Dr. Pay, this is the first edition, so I'm sorry to say you are my guinea pig for us to have a plan. I'm a big proponent that people that are vying for public office to give us a plan, at least what they want to do. Most of the time, what I hear is, we're not going to give our plan because somebody else is going to steal it. Or it's too early in the game. We're going to wait for the eve of election to present our plan. But we don't have to wait for that. We have people among us. So if Dr. Pay was called upon today to maybe advise, what will he be looking at as the way forward for agriculture in the country? It's a big topic. We're just trying to nibble at the edges tonight. So please bear with us. And at this time, let me present Dr. Pay to present to us and my viewing audience his plan to foster agricultural development in Liberia. Dr. Pay.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, you know, I'm not. I will try not to be political because I'm a scientist. I will try to keep my lane. But people who say that they don't want to share their plan until like the eve of election or other people will steal it, it's probably because they probably don't have a plan. We saw in U.S. election like candidates that were running that have plan. They put their plan out there. Elizabeth Warren was very famous for that. Every time I have a plan, and then she select charge people, 1 cent on every dollar after 50 million, and we can raise so much money to send everybody to school free. So if you have a plan, you should definitely let people know, and they will be able to judge, your candidacy by your plan that you present to them. Having said that, uh, first of all, let's look at the agriculture and economic situation of Liberia. Agriculture is a key sector for the human development for any nation, and Liberia is no exception. In Liberia, about 71.6% of the rural population live below the poverty line. That means people survive on less than $1 per day. And about 60% or over 60% of the population in Liberia is food insecure. What that means is that a vast percentage of the Liberian population, when they get up in the morning, they're not sure of what they're going to eat. So, I mean, in the layman term. So that means that, we have a big problem on hand, and agriculture would be the means by which we can be able to correct some of those statistics. Those are statistics that you raise, anybody eyebrow and make your heart to skip a beat if you are in leadership and want to see Liberia going forward. Agriculture could provide more than 70 could provide for the Liberian population, more than 70% of the Liberian population. Agriculture can provide jobs for them if we do the proper investment, if we have the right plan, we have the right people put in the right place, make sure the right thing is done. We can employ about 70% of the population of Liberia in agriculture and agriculture related industry. And then if we do that, according to the CIA Fact Book of Liberia, between now to 2030, we can be able to increase the GDP of Liberia by between 25 to 35%.
Wow.
So that is really huge. So you can see how much potential agriculture has to change Liberia, the economy, the entire demography, and everything about Liberia can just improve by agriculture. So anybody,
Dr. P, just want to mention that right now USA is going to increase the GDP to 25 to 35%. Currently, our GDP is minus 3.6%.
Yeah.
Just to put that in perspective.
Yeah. So that's just tell you how important agriculture is. And I'm not trying to look down on other sector of the economy, but if we are really serious about developing Liberia, about seeing Liberia move forward from where it is right now, agriculture will be the place to start. The reason is because agriculture have a very short turnaround period compared to other industries. A very short turnaround period. And the investment that it will require, both human resource and capital that it will take to invest into agriculture to change the current economic landscape of the country, it's far less than what it would take in other industries. So people just need to know that. So that's what people need to know. So anybody that is going to come into leadership or that is in leadership that is looking to improve the life of Liberian and increase the economic output of Liberia, agriculture will be something that they will be thinking about every day or every time. Like it will be like on their cheat sheet and sticking on their desktop in their office, and every time they look at it. And then so they have to have a long-term strategic plan, and those will be putting into place program that will promote inclusive and sustainable agricultural transformation. Now I say inclusive and sustainable because in Liberia, not everybody is involved into farming. Even though our women, for example, they provide more than 60% of the labor in agriculture production, especially subsistence farming. But when it comes to allocating resources in agriculture production, they usually do not get a fair share. So women have to be included in any agricultural development plan for anybody who will want to take Liberia forward to the next level. And I emphasize that. And then sustainable should not be what I consider or I always call window dressing development or window dressing program. That is, you come and do something, you put big sample, and then you say, oh, everything is fine. It should be on a long term. For Liberia to transform, we have to put in sustainable program to be able to move, the agriculture sector forward. So we have to encourage investment into agriculture from both the public and private sector. We have to encourage individuals. We have to encourage companies to come into the country to invest into the agricultural sector. And then we have to improve or establish a value chain process in Liberia. Vast majority of our agricultural produce leave Liberia in their crude or raw form. If we process or if we start processing our agricultural produce in Liberia, we can be able to create more jobs. And then as we go along, I will give you some statistics on some of the jobs or the number of jobs that we can create if we just decide to go into some how they call value chain addition to our agricultural products. And then we have to also, in doing that, we also have to care for our environment, because agriculture is one human activity that is very notorious for leaving behind serious environmental consequences. So we have to make sure that we are doing it right way. That's why in my first statement I said sustainable, because if you do it in a way that it is not sustainable, you will destroy the environment, you will destroy the land and water resources, you will destroy our forests, we might lose our soil, and then agriculture will collapse. So you don't want that to happen. So in doing that, we will be able to create more job and wealth for the Liberian population, and we can lift people out of poverty. But to do this thing, there will be challenges. You know, it's not that you will just go and start to do this thing and then everything will just go fine, like you are sailing with the wind. It's not going to be like that. There are things, there are stumbling blocks that you have to overcome, in order to succeed in this thing. And one major challenge in Liberia will be is, there's weak private sector investment. Like I said earlier, everything for most part is the government and subsistence farmers who are doing agriculture in Liberia. There are very few companies. Most of the companies are not Liberian owned. And then,
Dr. Pei, if I can stop you a little bit,
yeah,
because I want us to go over, before we get to the challenges, I wanted to go over, you listed three things, if I got you correctly, that we need to do.
mm-hmm.
Number one, you said encourage investment in the agricultural sector, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Value chain addition.
Yeah.
And care for the environment. I don't know if we'll have time, but or can you elaborate on these three a little bit more?
Yeah. So encouraging public sector, private sector investment. So
Right.
what that would do is, number one, you have to put on law on the books, or the laws that are already on the book have to be implemented in the right way, have to be enforced the right way, so that people will feel secure when they bring their money into the country. Now, I will give you one example, one prime example. Let's take the oil palm company, for example, Sam Darby. When they came into the country, they had a notion that, okay, there's land, the government has secured land for us. We are going to Liberia and we are going to invest. And these people came with the intention of, cultivating between 500 to a million acre of oil palm. And when they came, you know, on this large scale investment, when they go into a community, they go into a village, they go into a district. So this we consider as, PAC, public project affected communities. Now, before you even go into these places will be a project, you're supposed to go and get the view of the people, if they want such a thing to come into that community in the first place. But that was not done in the case of Sandabi. And right then I learned that they are struggling. Probably they are planning to leave because they cannot expand their production because they are having resistance from the local people. And I actually did a research while I was still at the University of Liberia with a group from Germany, and that report is published. It's called Large Scale Land Grab, by consensual company in Liberia. You can find that on Google. Just simply Google it, you will find it. So that's a problem. So that's one way you can invest. You can encourage the private sector to invest. Another way is to ensure that import tariff on agriculture goods, agriculture machinery, agricultural inputs, fertilizer, and everything, you have to make sure you reduce the taxes on those things so that people can be able to bring them. Because usually the profit, the return on agriculture is low because agricultural produce are usually sold at a cheaper rate so that people can afford them, especially food.
Yeah.
So if somebody is going to come and invest in agriculture and that investment be profitable, they have to have an environment that will encourage that kind of investment. So if somebody is bringing in machines, for example, or fertilizer, for example, and the import cost at the port, whatever tariff or duty that the government charges is high, it's going to be difficult for them to bring that into Liberia. And then it will make Liberian farmers will not have access to those things. So that's one way we can encourage private sector investment. The next one was what, caring for the environment.
The value chain.
Okay, the value chain addition. Okay, like I said earlier, rubber. Take rubber for example, our biggest agricultural export. We don't add any value to it. From the tree, all we do is to put some chemical on it so that it won't smell while it's in the ship, and then we'll send it. But what if, if we can put in policy that say, okay, we will process 10% of the rubber that we produce in Liberia. 10% of that. We can be able to have tire factory. We can be able to have, you know, companies that will come and produce medical supplies. A lot of medical supply come from natural rubber. We can have companies that will come and produce, a lot of material that will make from natural rubber. And then that we will create job.
But who is supposed to do this? Let's say Firestone, for instance. Is Firestone is producing rubber in Liberia? Should it be Firestone to create this value chain addition, or it can be any private person, or it can be government? Who's really supposed to be doing this?
Well, everybody needs to be involved. So, for example, let's take private, because most of the time when you tend to talk about government, people say government can't do anything. So let's take the private, for example. People who have the resources and technical know-how on how to process some of these things. It may not be rubber, but it could be oil palm. It could be our fruits and vegetables that we produce in Liberia. You can go over there and set up a little company and start to process some of these things so that they don't go to waste, so that you can prolong their shelf life, and then you can be able to export them. So individual with the technical know-how and resources can get involved with that. And the government also need to take interest. So for example, in this concession that they signed with this company, there should be a provision that, okay, you're going to produce that, you're going to produce that, you're going to produce that, but you cannot just export all the raw material. You have to process some of them here. So the government have to put that into whatever concession agreement that they are signing with this company. Then this company will be obligated to do so, because Liberia, we have the climate, we have the land. So anybody who goes to Liberia to make business, they know there's an opportunity to make profit. So now you need to exploit those opportunities also to your advantage, because you have the resources that they need. So they need to do that. The private company, especially international private companies that are in Liberia, their interest is not to share their profit with you or us, the Liberian people. Their intent is to maximize their profit. So whatever is easier and convenient for them to do is what they will do. So if it is easier for example, to export 100% of a latex to wherever they export, the United States or wherever, for them to do and then process their product over there, as compared to having a plant in Liberia, they're going to do that, except you ask them to do it. And if you ask them to do it, they have 1,000,000 acres of land planted with rubber. And if you ask them to process 10% of that,
I'm kind of losing you there, Dr. Pei. Dr. Pei, are you with me?
yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, okay. I kind of lost you in the midst there. If you ask them to process 10% of 1,000,000 acres of rubber, that's where you left off.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that these companies, they are in Liberia, their interest or their to maximize their profit. So
Right.
what we need to do as a people is to make sure that we go in and try to benefit us too. So when we sign concession, we should put in something for the Liberian people, for the country. So let's
We lost Dr. P there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Focus on Liberia. Our topic here is let's have a plan. And the plan we are talking about tonight is fostering agricultural development in Liberia. Dr. Wokley P, a postdoctoral fellow, is our guest tonight, and he's discussing the plan for agriculture. He named three things. First, we started with the landscape and the statistics there that he talked about. 76.1% of Liberians live below the poverty line. 60% of Liberians are food insecure. So if we do agriculture properly, we are able to give jobs to 70% of the population just from agriculture alone. And according to the CIA Facts book, within the next 10 to 15 years, we are able to increase the GDP of Liberia from where it is now, minus 3.6, to 25 to 35%. And the better way to do that is through agriculture. One reason, because the agriculture, there's a short turnaround period for us to start getting benefits from agriculture. So because of that, he said we need to develop a long-term strategic goal. And what we need to do, number one, is to encourage private sector investment, have private people engaged in that. And the way to do that is, for instance, you reduce tariff on agricultural products and implements, fertilizer and all that, and you make the conditions favorable for people to go into agriculture and invest. And the next way goal, he said, is to establish value chain. So for instance, if you are producing raw materials in Liberia, at least take 10%, 15, 20%, and produce something out of the raw materials. For instance, Firestone, instead of exporting or shipping 100% of the latex from Liberia to America, at least use 10% to produce something. It could be gloves, it could be medical equipment from rubber, it could be some of these synthetic stuff, and you can do all that from by creating what he called the value chain addition. In other words, change the raw materials to some finished products, and that will create jobs in Liberia and also benefit the local population. And the third thing we come into is care for the environment, because agriculture leaves so much impact on the environment. You should be able to take care of the environment. Do not just produce, but have in mind that you are caring for the environment, so there will be no negative impact to the people that are living in those areas because of agriculture. That's the plan. And when he comes back, we're going to go into the challenges, because in order for us to reach this strategic goal, there are challenges along the way, and Dr. Pei is going to help us navigate through those challenges. This is Focus on Liberia. We are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. The time is 6:40 Eastern, and my guest again is Dr. Wokley S.P. He's a postdoctoral fellow. He's joining us from New Mexico, USA. Again, we're going to have a plan, and the plan here is for agricultural development. How do we foster agricultural development? Let me read a few of the comments here. Jerome Gilman say, I like this young man, he knows his stuff. Steven Sewon, watching us on YouTube, said, by creating value addition, we can produce medical supplies from rubber, for instance. That's the plan. We will be waiting for Dr. Pei to come and join us back as we talk about the agricultural plan. Next week, we're going to be looking at water, the environment, and sanitation. We're going to have another speaker who's going to walk us through that plan. If you want to be part of the conversation, please post your comments. You can ask a question, and Dr. Pei we're going to be able to answer your questions. Again, This is Focus on Liberia. We'll take a short break while we wait for Dr. Pay, and we're going to be right back.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
Welcome back to Focus on Liberia. We are discussing agriculture, or the fostering agricultural development in Liberia. As I said before, the need for this show to have a plan is most of the time we don't see the plans of our politicians. We don't see the plan even of our certain governments as to how they're going to improve things, how they're going to change things for the better. So we have decided to contact some professionals among us. Let's see, Dr. Okay, Dr. Pay is on his way. He's going to be here very shortly. He's going to be here very shortly. So us to develop that plan. And so we are waiting for our politicians, and we are encouraging everyone, please tune in to Focus on Liberia and steal our plans. It is yours. We're doing this for Liberia. So we want people, our policy makers, to please tune in and see some of the things we're going to say here, how best you can incorporate them into what you already have. And whatever you don't have, if you need to ask questions, please contact us directly and we'll be able to link you with Dr. Pay, or you can contact him directly, because Liberia belongs to all of us. We must do our best to make things work for us. We have the knowledge, we have the people among us, we have the expertise to be able to do these things. So as a saying goes in Liberia, you cannot be at the mouth of a river and wash your hands with spit. So we have the expertise among us. Why can't we take advantage? Why can't we call upon them to advise us and help us develop the different sectors that are struggling in the country? And it is not to cast aspersion on anyone, but to say, let's work together. We're still having difficulty here getting Dr. Pay back. Dr. Pay, if we can get you back. Again, this is Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. Dr. Pay has joined, but his connection still looks little weak, and that's why we are not able to get him on. We are not able to get Dr. Pay quickly, but he's going to be here. He's doing all his best to join us. And we'll take a short break again, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Focus on Liberia. We are discussing fostering agricultural development in Liberia. My guest is Dr. Wokley S.P. He's having some technical issues rejoining the broadcast, but as soon as things improve on his side, we're going to be welcoming Dr. P back in studio. And if you are just joining us, that's a month-long series that we have started called Let's Have a Plan. We need a plan for agriculture, a plan for the economy, a plan for waste management, a plan for the environment, a plan for security, a plan for healthcare, a plan for education, and a plan for all the areas in Liberia. And we have the expertise among us, Liberians, who have gone abroad, study, who have worked both in Liberia and in and outside of Liberia, can share with us their plan for Liberia. And we are inviting policymakers and other gatekeepers to be able to watch the show, get something from here, incorporate in your plan, and see where we go from here. Because Liberia belongs to all of us, and whether we are in government or not, we should do our best to contribute and help those that are in government. Even if our help is not solicited, let's volunteer the help and see who takes it. We hope somebody gets the help, somebody use it, and because it's going to benefit our country. Well, it may not, I may physically not be in Liberia, but I have siblings there. I have nieces and nephews all the way throughout the country. I have friends, I have loved ones. And so we are encouraging all our experts among us. Please contact us if you have a plan that you want to share. Do not hesitate to send us an email, focusonliberia@gmail.com, or you can call us here directly. You can inbox us, and we will have a time to hear your plan. If this continues, so if you have your comments that you want to share, please, or as we wait for Dr. P, I see the connection is still not good. The connection is still not good. So we'll try for Dr. P to switch devices and see how that works. We're going to switch devices and then we see how that works. If this continues, we're going to see how we can make do. But this is very important that you listen to this, that you hear us, that you'll be able to participate. And so let's say you are watching and you have some ideas that you want to share regarding agriculture. Please do not hesitate to post your comments. Let me check with Dr. P again. Dr. P, go ahead and connect your microphone. Connect your microphone. We should be able to get you as soon as your mic is connected. So when you are joining, it's going to ask you for your mic and then video. You should be able to check that. And we should have you. Joe Moore, you say Dr. P is right when he mentioned private sector participation to boost agribusiness. The government can begin by providing incentives to the private sector to participate in the agricultural sector. I would also suggest that the government collaborate with the Liberia Chamber of Commerce and the Liberia Business Association to brainstorm and come up with ideas. The agricultural sector will provide opportunities in terms of jobs creation and employment, but it also provides entrepreneurship. Dr. P, let's see where you are. You have to connect your mic. Let's give it one more try. If things don't approve, then we can reschedule.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Ja.
All right. Still, we don't have Dr. Peye. He's doing everything possible to connect, but it's just not working. So let's give it a minute or two. And if things don't work the way we anticipate, we can always reschedule. Dr. Peye is just a phone call away, and he's going to be here to join us on this very important topic. Let's have a plan. Next week or next Sunday, we hope to have Dr. Maurice Kofa, who's going to present a plan on water, sanitation, and the environment. You don't want to miss that. So Dr. Peye will give it one last trial. You'll give it one last try, and we see what to do. Agriculture is very, very important, and some of those statistics from Dr. Peye make too much sense. That 60% of Liberians are food insecure. Wake up every morning and you don't know where the meal will come from. That's food insecurity. If we invest in agriculture and follow the plan that we're going to talk about tonight, we can we can give jobs to 70% of our Liberian population. Right now, our unemployment is way high. If we invest in agriculture and do the right things, we are able to increase our GDP to 25 to 35%. These things, I mean, it's all good news. So what is preventing us? I mean, why is it that every time we hear about, oh, we're going to invest in agriculture, but yet we don't see things happening? What's happening here? Are we getting experts? Are we getting people who know how to do this and still we are not getting results? Or what is the problem here? Why is it that we are not getting where we're supposed to be when it comes to agriculture? If agriculture is going to be this magic bullet, why are we still paying lip service to agriculture? Right now, if you look at the budget, I don't think much goes to agriculture compared to ministries like finance ministry, state and presidential affairs. I don't know the proportion, but there's not a lot that goes into those places where we really need help. What's going on here? And it is not just this administration, but other administrations have also paid lip service to this agricultural sector. If we're going to get 70% of jobs, if we're going to employ 70% of our population just from agriculture alone, if we can be a healthy population, say a hungry man is an angry man. So if we don't feed the people, how do we expect our economy to go up? How do we expect our kids to go to school and be healthy? Another former president of Nigeria once said, if agriculture goes wrong, everything goes wrong. So if we do not do anything about agriculture, if people are hungry, they're going to be angry. If the kids are not fed, they cannot even compete with their counterparts. If they are malnourished, they cannot compete. They cannot even comprehend. If the eyes are all red and you stunted growth, kwashiorkor, or malnourished, you don't expect such a child to compete with a child in the same grade level in other countries like Ghana, like South America, like the USA. They cannot compete. So we have to do something about agriculture. Well, unfortunately, we are not having Dr. P here. We have 2 more minutes. If that doesn't work, then we're going to reschedule. It is very, very unfortunate, but there's not much that he can do. He's doing his best to reconnect, but technology is not allowing us to do the things that we want to do tonight. Okay, Dr. P is giving it one last try. Dr. P, you have to, there's a place there to connect your microphone. As soon as you connect your microphone, we should be good. Your mic or the camera, mic cam, or you click on mic and the camera icon to connect. On Monday, we're going to be having an interview with Mr. Eric Johnson as a Liberian musical artist. Eric Johnson is going to be sitting down with Mr. Asuni C on the Hour of Politics, Monday, 12 noon. Then on Wednesday, I'll be hosting the Director General of the Liberia News Agency, Mr. Kwame Opa Weeks. We're going to be talking about, of course, LENA, that's the Liberia News Agency, the current state. What are some of their challenges? What are some of the successes? And we're going to delve into journalism today. That is, journalism in the age of social media. We want to talk about citizen journalism. Sometimes you don't even need the press. Individuals, citizens of the society can all be journalists. We're going to talk all about that on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. GMT, that's Liberia time, Wednesday, right here on Focus on Liberia. Well, it's unfortunate that we're not able to get Dr. Pei on again, and we're going to be calling it a day. Sorry to leave you, but we're going to continue the series. We're going to continue the series. On behalf of all of us here at Focus on Liberia, again, we say happy Father's Day to all our fathers. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be right back here on Sunday to continue. Oh, Dr. Pei is back. Yay!
Yeah, it took a while.
All right. Dr. Pei, we're on our third point. Thank God you are back. And so we talk about encourage the private sector investment, the value chain addition, and you said care for the environment. What does that mean?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Dennis?
sir. Yes, sir.
I can't hear you.
I can hear you. Go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Maybe you need to take off
Okay,
the.
can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
But I can't hear you. That's the problem.
All right, just go ahead and talk. You may hear me. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can hear me again. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I guess you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Technology sometimes doesn't just cooperate, and
Right. Let me see if you can get me here. Can you hear me now? No, you cannot hear me. All right. Okay, Dr. Perry, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Remove the earpiece and see. Go ahead, just speak. Dr. Perry, can you hear us? All right. Sorry, we're having difficulties, and so we're going to be.
Yeah, Dennis, I still can't hear you.
Okay. But go ahead, speak. All right. It's unfortunate we cannot hear. Dr. Perry, can I hear me? You muted yourself. You are muted. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's unfortunate we cannot continue on the show because of the technical difficulty. On behalf of all of us here at Focus on Liberia, we sincerely apologize that we are not able to get Dr. Perry, so we're going to be closing the broadcast now. Have a good night and God bless you.
We are Liberian.